Have you ever wondered, what if the book of Genesis we've always known is just the beginning of a deeper, hidden narrative? A text that rewrites timelines, divides generations, and unveils the whispered secrets of heaven? A book so mysterious that ancient scholars called it the Little Genesis, and so dangerous it was cast into the shadows of biblical history. Today we unveil that forbidden chronicle, the Book of Jubilees. Not just a retelling, but a reordering of creation itself. Welcome to Prayer Station, a rewritten Genesis. The Book of Jubilees doesn't begin on earth, it begins in heaven. It claims to be dictated by an angel, the angel of the presence, to Moses on Mount Sinai, not during the giving of the 10 Commandments, but during the secret 40 days and 40 nights. The angel reveals that time must not be measured in years, but in jubilees, cycles of 49 years. Why does this matter? Because according to this book, history is not random. It is patterned, structured, divinely divided. Each jubilee marks a sacred intervention, from creation to the flood, to the birth of nations. And then, the revelation becomes disturbing. Jubilees claims that the fall of the angels, the Watchers, their union with human women and the birth of the Nephilim, was the actual reason God sent the great flood during Saod. Not merely to cleanse sin, but to erase a forbidden bloodline. The days before the flood, the hidden timetable. Have you ever heard of the sacred calendar? In the Book of Jubilees, every major event, from the creation of Adam to the days of Noah, is precisely divided and recorded according to cycles of 49 years, known as Jubilee weeks. Not the Babylonian calendar, not the classical Jewish calendar. This is the heavenly calendar. A divine record given by angels was revealed to Moses on Mount Sinai. Through it, all of human history is divided like the rhythmic breathing of a prophetic machine. Major events, the birth of patriarchs, the fall of cities, the rebellion of angels, aren't marked by human calendars, but by heaven's timetable. The book records. 7th year of the 8th week. Seth begets Enosh. The holy lineage continues after Adam. 12th week, something unheard of appears. Semi-divine hybrids born of the Watchers and human women. They are called Nephilim, giants, fallen gods in human disguise. 13th week, the earth begins to scream, bloodshed spreads, violence erupts across the land. The Watchers, angels sent to observe mankind, have broken their divine oath. They did not merely observe, they intervened. They taught humanity forbidden secrets. How to forge weapons, the art of seduction and cosmetics, the secrets of astrology, sorcery, medicine, and soul manipulation. They planted knowledge beyond human bounds. And the result was the collapse of order between heaven and earth. The world was no longer purely human, it had been corrupted. A new species emerged, not of heaven, not of earth. It carried the rebellion of angels and the desires of men. And from that moment, the clock of judgment began to count down. The Great Flood was not a reaction, it was a marked event. Programmed into the heavenly calendar before time itself, not a coincidence, not divine rage, but inevitable consequence. Non-human entities, the Nephilim and the heavenly rebellion scripture once said, "The sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful and took them as wives." But the Book of Jubilees goes deeper. It was not love. It was a violation. The Watchers, angels appointed to guard the earth, abandoned their heavenly posts. They crossed the line God himself had set. They didn't fall in love, they seized. And then, something unnatural was born. A generation of hybrids, giants of legend, creatures of divine blood and mortal flesh. They were called Nephilim, mysterious, powerful, savage. They consumed all human food. And when that was not enough, they began to consume humans. As blood soaked the ground, the cries of mankind reached the gates of heaven. In the Book of Jubilees, 3 angels rise, Michael, Raphael, and Uriel. They behold the earth drenched in blood. They fall to their knees before God's throne. O Lord, act. The blood of the innocent cries out to the heavens, and God answers. A sentence is declared from the throne of heaven. Michael is sent to punish Semjaza, leader of the Watchers. Raphael is tasked with imprisoning Azazel, who taught humanity to kill. Azazel is chained, buried deep in the desert pit of Dudael. Until the day of judgment, the Lord declares. The Nephilim, these giants, were not slain by humans, not by weapons, but by their madness. They destroyed each other. The old order collapsed. Humanity fell into depravity. Angels were imprisoned. Monsters were extinguished. And then, time struck the appointed hour, a specific year, a specific day, a specific moment. One man, righteous Noah, and the last pure lineage had been preserved. And in that moment, rain began to fall. But do you think the flood was merely to wash the filth from the earth? Number, it was to erase the corruption, to restore divine purity, to prevent a race not of heaven nor earth from multiplying again. And that is the true reason the flood was allowed to happen. Imagine a calendar, not written by men but by heaven itself. A celestial manuscript where every season, every month, every day carries sacred significance. This is what the Book of Jubilees unveils. Unlike the later lunar calendars used by mankind, Jubilees describes a solar calendar, 364 days per year, divided into weeks, months, and seasons, all gifted by God since the beginning of creation. Each week holds meaning. Every 7th year is a year of release, a jubilee. And in that divine calendar, the great flood didn't just happen. Noah didn't randomly decide to build an ark. He was warned at the appointed time, on the exact day decreed. The day the Watchers were bound. The day angels carried out their sentence. The day the waters opened below and the skies opened above. Everything had been preordained. There is no coincidence in God's design. And when the ark was finally finished, when all the creatures entered in pairs, when the last of the holy bloodline was sealed inside, something remarkable happened. And the Lord shut the door. This line appears only once in the entire Bible, not Noah, not a man. God himself shut the door between two worlds, the door of mercy. And when it closed, the rain began to fall, rain from the skies, water from the deep. The wrath stored for generations was now unleashed. No one could reopen that door. No one could rewind time. Everything, men, cities, giants, forbidden knowledge, was washed away in mere weeks. But what remained was not just mud and bones. It was a mark, a scar in history, a warning to future generations, a secret buried in the little book, the Book of Jubilees, that the official Bible once tried to bury. And now, you've just seen it. When the waters receded, when the ground dried, when the ark opened, it was not merely the start of a new age. It was the renewal of a covenant. Not a covenant between man and man, but between God and humanity, a sacred pact written in promise, in blood, and in choice. According to Jubilees, after the great flood, Noah offered a pure sacrifice from the very creatures preserved on the ark. He didn't just give thanks, he begged for mercy. And God from his heavenly throne responded. A rainbow appeared in the sky, but in Jubilees it wasn't just a colorful sign for children. It was a seal of the covenant, a divine vow that water would never again wipe out mankind, that mercy would accompany justice, that the holy bloodline would continue no matter how many generations passed, and that bloodline was not broken. In this little book, Jubilees carefully records the generations after Noah, who gave birth to whom, which lineage remained faithful, and which one would eventually lead to Abraham, the father of nations. You see, Jubilees is not just a retelling of Genesis, it is the red thread, the hidden journal, the map beneath the surface. It tells of an angel revealing to Moses events that happened thousands of years before him. It makes clear, not all are children of light, not all nations are in a covenant. Only those who keep the days of light, those aligned with the heavenly calendar, will not be led astray. And do you know something terrifying? According to Jubilees, those who follow the lunar calendar, who follow man's time, will lose track of the holy days, will celebrate on the wrong dates, and will be led into darkness without even knowing it. That darkness still covers the earth today. Many don't realize that what they call the Bible is missing something. That a book once read by the patriarch was later banned. That the fallen angels have not vanished. They have merely changed faces. That the covenant still stands and the last day of the 7th week is approaching. And you, listening to these words, are standing before a choice between light and darkness, between the book opened and the book buried, between the preserved bloodline and a world soon to be swept away again. When the final lines of Jubilees are penned, the angel leaves Moses with a prophecy. Blessed are those who keep the weeks, but judgment will come for those who forget. Maybe this is not just a tale of the past. Maybe the final week is closer than you think. Why would a book claimed to be sacred, revealed by an angel to Moses and once widely circulated among ancient Jewish communities, be removed from the official Bible? This is not just an academic question. It opens a long-standing debate over power, faith, and what is deemed acceptable or dangerous by religious authorities. In the 2nd century BCE, Jubilees was considered a theological foundation by the Qumran community, the keepers of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Some scholars believe they held it in higher regard than even Genesis, but with detailed accounts of fallen angels, the origin of chaos and corrupted bloodlines. Jubilees posed a threat. It disrupted the clean, edited version of Scripture that many were used to. The story of the Watchers, angels who rebelled and descended to earth. It wasn't just unsettling. It challenged traditional theology. It suggested sin began in heaven, not on earth. That spiritual beings could fall and humanity was caught in the crossfire. Worse still, Jubilees emphasized that only a select bloodline remained pure, like Noah. This opens dangerous interpretations about race, heritage, or divine superiority if misunderstood. Later councils, such as the Council of Nicaea, 325 AD, and Jewish religious authorities gradually excluded Jubilees. Not just because it was mystical, but it exposed too many truths that shook the system. Yet for centuries, Jubilees was preserved and revered in Ethiopian tradition. To this day, the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible still includes it, as if one corner of the world refuses to forget the story that others buried. Perhaps it was removed because it was too true, too complete, too dangerous. Few believe Jubilees is just an ancient, forgotten book. You may be missing the key to the Bible's full narrative. Modern scholars have begun to revisit its role in biblical history, and their conclusions are chilling. Professor James Vanderkam, a world expert on Jubilees, once wrote, "Jubilees reveals a world where angels and humans are intertwined, where God not only judges sin but tracks every lineage, every bloodline, every mixture. It's not mythology, it's a system with structure, order, and laws that transcend time. According to him, Jubilees unveils a cosmic reality where light and darkness battle not only in hearts, but within the very fabric of history. And because of that, it was deemed too dangerous to preserve in an official Bible meant to serve religious institutions. But the most shocking truth isn't what was erased. It's what we are beginning to remember. Jubilees is not just a little Genesis. It is the original manuscript, raw, unfiltered, and a clear warning that this world is not what we think. Maybe that's why it was banned. Maybe that's why it was forgotten, and maybe that's exactly why you should read it. Because Jubilees leaves us with one chilling truth. History does not repeat, it is rewritten. And you are living in the edited version. Have you ever wondered, what if the truth you know is only the part you were allowed to see? That question might be why Jubilee is the most dangerous book of all.